Okay, I think this is pretty close to one of the last things we're going to do besides the 3 variables and 3 unknown systems. So we're going to be graphing linear inequalities. And at the top, I have your greater than and less than, which remember are your dotted lines, and your greater than or equal, less than or equal are your solid lines when you start graphing these things. So let's just review. Remember, we graph it like it's a line, as if it were equals, and then we have to shade one half. Let's see what we can remember. All right, so this one, I am going to start here. When I think of this, I think of my slope and my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 2, that's the b, and my slope is 4. I like that to be a fraction, so 4 over 1. So it means I'm going to start on the y-axis at 2, and I'm going to count up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. Or I could go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 1. And because this is less than, it's got to be a dotted line. So I draw my dotted line as best that I can without a ruler. Okay? So now I have to decide which side of this line to shade. Do I want to shade the right side, or do I want to shade the left side? And I always pick a point. I never, ever try to memorize anything because I usually end up forgetting things that I memorize. So I pick a point that is not on the line, because you can't pick a point on the line. You have to pick something that's not on the line. My favorite is the point 0, 0. Okay, so I put in 0. Is 0 less than 4 times 0 plus 2? So is 0 less than 2? The answer is yes. So I want to shade the side with 0, 0. So I want to shade this side of my line, because that's the side that contains 0, 0. Okay? And that's it. You remember that. Okay, so now here's one less than or equal to. And this one is going to start at b is -2 and m is -1/4. So I need to start down here at -2, and I'm going to go up, but this time to the left. So up 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. I usually try to have about 3 points. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time I want the line to be solid because it's equal to. So I'm going to draw my solid line as best I can here. And now again, I have to choose a point and decide which side of the line to shade. So again, I like to pick 0, 0. So is 0 less than or equal to 0 minus 2? Is 0 less than or equal to -2? And the answer is no, it's not. It's greater than -2. So I shade the side that doesn't have 0, 0. So I shade this bottom side. Okay? All right. So here's example 3. X is greater than or equal to 2. Remember when we had a line x equals 2, it goes through the x-axis. So this is going to go through the x-axis at 2. It's going to be solid because it's greater than or equal. So I have a solid line that's going through 2. And which side of that graph is greater than 2? That's easy. That's this side of the graph is greater than 2. So this is the side of the graph I want to shade. And then over here I have y is less than 3. Remember, when you have no x's, it's going to be horizontal. It's going to go through the y-axis at 3. This time it's dotted because it's not equal to. So this way. And then which side of that graph is less than 3? That would be the bottom half is less than 3. So that's how I want to shade that one. Okay, so when we talk about a system of inequalities, all it is we put 2 on the same graph, and then find where they overlap. You're looking for where they overlap. So I made the first one. The first one is pretty easy because it's already in the right form. So I'm going to start at -1, and I made them colored so you can see them. So the blue one starts at -1, has a slope of 1. So B equals -1, M equals 1 over 1. So up 1 to the right one, up 1 to the right one, up 1 to the right one, down 1 to the left one. Oops, forgot to go this way. So I need a dotted line that connects those points. And which side do I shade? Is 0 greater than -1? The answer is no, 0 is not greater than -1. So I want to shade the side that does, oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. 0 is greater than -1. I don't know what I was thinking. Making sure you're paying attention. Not really. But anyway, so I shade this side of the line because 0 is greater than -1. And now for the red graph, I'm going to have to do a little bit of work. I'm going to subtract 3x, so -2y is greater than or equal to -3x minus 2. Then I'm going to divide by -2. Remember, when we divide by a negative, we got to switch the inequality. So y is less than or equal to 3 over 2 plus 1. So now I'm going to start at 1. That's my b. B is 1, and my slope is 3 over 2. It's also positive, so I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 2, or I can go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and I look and I say, oh, this has to be a solid line, so I'm going to draw this as a solid line. Maybe. There we go. Solid line. Now, which side do I want to shade? Now, sometimes we forget to switch the inequality, so you can always check in the original equation, which is back up here, and you can plug in 0, 0, because it's not on the line. So 0 minus 0, is that greater than or equal to -2? Is 0 greater than -2? And the answer is yes, 0 is greater than -2. So I want to shade this side of the line. So it looks like the spot in between is the one that I want. And sometimes what I would always do is the S, the stuff in the middle, is the solution. It's the stuff